Government consists largely of a bunch of paranoid, bully, coward, hypocrite control freaks. Let me use the example of firearms. People in power are constantly lamenting the possibility that somebody somewhere might have a gun that they don't know about. And they insist that they are so concerned with keeping track of all these firearms and having registration and background checks for your safety. And yet, they tend to focus on things like semi-automatic rifles, which are used in a tiny fraction of actual crime. Now, why is this? Because government doesn't really care about the weapons that might be used to victimize you. That's not really their top priority. What they are concerned about is weapons that could be effectively used to resist their own attempts to control people, which is why, of course, they focus on semi-automatic rifles, military-style rifles, and then misname them assault rifles. So when I just saw a video about the ghost gunner thing, I thought it was sort of funny, but it's also awesome in a very serious sort of way, because this levels the playing field, and you can see those in government just having tantrums about it. What this is a small milling machine that is open source, and anybody can put designs into it and you can mill your own stuff. Now, there are 8 zillion different things you could use it to build. One of them is the lower receiver of an AR-15 without serial numbers that nobody knows exists. It's not registered anywhere. And of course, that's what the government is having tantrums about and having a panic about. But you can't exactly outlaw a milling machine. So I just saw this video, and it's funny because the entire narration is government twits worrying about it. Of course, they have all the machine guns they want, paid for with money they stole from you, and you don't get to know what they have. You don't get to know the weaponry. You don't get to know how much ammunition. Every once in a while, a little bit of it leaks out. But they think that they should know what you and everybody else has because they want to have the upper hand. They want there to be a massive imbalance of power where they know everything about you and can spy on you and can decide whether you deserve to have a firearm. Meanwhile, they have all sorts of weapons you don't get to know about. Now, people can make their own AR-15 lower receivers, and again, can make 8 zillion other things with this. But that makes it so that it's basically back to what the founders, the writers of the Second Amendment wanted, which is a population that always has the weaponry to match or exceed the government that seeks to control it. And of course, that's the only reason people in government are freaked out about this is we can't have our victims having the ability to resist us. Why, that would mean chaos. No, it would mean a lack of tyranny, which is why they're in a panic about it. So these machines and the ability of people to make their own lower receivers. Oh, for those who don't know, legally, as if that matters, the lower receiver is the thing that counts as the gun. You can buy all the other things, the barrel and this and that and the other thing, but the thing that legally counts as the gun is the lower receiver. And now lots of people are getting these machines that can just make their own and keep making more of their own. And of course, those in government want everyone to be scared. Oh my gosh, anybody can just have a... And it's already not that difficult to get it's not that difficult to get a legal gun. I have one. Mine still has a serial number and it's all legal and everything. But it's also not difficult to get illegal guns. So what they want to portray it as is all the nasty, scary people will have. All the nasty, scary people already do, and most of them work for government and can get whatever they want in whatever quantity they want and force you to pay for it. So I think this is an outstanding thing to level the playing field and make it so the control freaks don't know what their intended victims have. I mean, the reason they're concerned about this is the exact same reason a mugger wants to know whether his intended target might have a gun or not. Because he wants to know if he can get away with doing whatever the hell he wants. Well, I want a society in which government cannot get away with doing whatever the hell they want. And that requires the people to have the ability to use deadly force if government decides to threaten deadly force against them. And I've said before, you know, people are scared of the idea of, you want the people to be able to forcibly resist their own government? Yeah. What's the alternative? A people that doesn't have the ability to forcibly resist their own government. If you think that turns out well, open a history book. I'll end on the point that it's massively hypocritical for these fascists who parade around with machine guns, they're not even just semi-automatic, they're fully automatic, all the time to say, well, we have to make sure that only people we approve of have firearms, have semi-automatic rifles. And I think it is a huge boon for humanity to have that not be the case, and to have the playing field level, and to have those in power not know who has what guns. I feel more secure knowing that just about anybody can make their own AR-15. And I know with the training that the media and the government does on people, most people might be scared of the idea of, oh, almost anybody could have one. Already almost anybody could have one. And if you want to look at the real threat to humanity, it's when government outguns its the subject class. And so I'm thrilled to see this awesome step forward in making that not be the case anymore. So it's called Ghost Gunner. I'll put a link to the video here, and you can see why those in power are in a complete tizzy, because, oh my gosh, this might actually make things level, where we don't know what you have and you don't know what we have. And we don't need your freaking permission, just like you don't ask for our permission before stealing our money and buying tanks and all sorts of drones and nasty weapons. Screw you, government, because now the playing field is being leveled, and Ghost Gunner is, I think, going to be a big part of that, and I think that's outstanding.